big thing for me is the fact that all the coaches were out there getting after it, and it was a lot of fun. It was just interactive, and if nothing else, what it does is it gives the coaches an opportunity to tell the kids, hey, I've done this drill. I know exactly what you're going through right now. I know exactly why we're trying to do this, because you've actually been out there going through the process. So it was a lot of fun, and it was unlike any clinic that I'd ever been a part of.
The very first, we use the B dribble, right and left. We also use crossover between, behind, spin, and we're doing that so that the player will be able to dominate the basketball and change directions anytime they want to. They've also got to be able to get underneath the defensive player's hand. So if you're able to change directions quick, set speed on the dribble, you have a leg up on your opponent. It's hard to play this game if you can't get around people. You look at what any level you look at, whether it's college, high school, or junior high. If you can't get around your guy, then you're constantly having to be screened for and having to depend on someone else to get you the ball. The thing we try to do at WTBA is to get the elbow behind the basketball. If you'll notice in the clip, you know, a lot of players sometimes will get it way down in here in the center. When you have the ball down around your chest area and you try to get a shot off, you know, height becomes a real factor in the defensive player closing. Kids are so much quicker today. They're more mobile. They have better training devices to get them accelerated. So we really want the elbow behind the ball. And when they finish, we want them to finish high on the shot. And, you know, if you have it down here, high, if you have it over here, you know, it's really easy to get it exposed to a defender. So we like to align it with our right side here and keep it on the finger pads and not so much on the palm, you know. And the other hand is just a guide hand.
Put the thumb with the fourth finger here, put the hand here, so when we bend to shoot, we're going to shoot it. That ball should hit the line where our foot is, where we're lined up.
A lot of coaches allow kids to shoot so that the elbow is outside the line of the ball, and that's automatically going to push the ball right to left. So we believe that the elbow needs to be right behind in the center of the ball, so when the ball is shot, the ball will follow the path of the elbow. If the elbow's turned this way, it's going to go left, you know, so we want the elbow right behind.
You know, when you first get into coaching, you really don't know a lot. You have to learn the hard way, and people that know more, they just love beating up on them. You know,
the fakes really make you quicker, they make you faster, they get you open. They get other people open. So a really good pass fake sometimes will lock 2 or 3 defenders, and you're able to get over here and get the ball to someone or able to pass the player that's guarding you. And a good shot fake often will get a player up, and it'll have people move to the board sometimes that wouldn't ordinarily do that, so that you can get an easy shot going left.
When I was talking to Gary Blair at A&M the other day, he said the #1 thing kids want is playing time. That's the bottom line. You can say it any way you want to say it, but most of our conferences that we've had with parents, it all come back to playing time, right? Okay, the one thing you can do to help your kids get playing time is to put the detail into the skill. If you put the detail into the skill, and I believe if you take your best players and you let your best players work with your other players. You know, when I started out coaching, I was afraid people would find out how dumb I was. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if any of you have that problem, but I got to tell you, you need to lose that if you have that. Encourage your players that are better players than you might be to demonstrate.
It's all very positive. A lot of them, I was even a little skeptical how they would take that, you know, making them physically get out there, but you could see by their attitudes and their focus and stuff, I thought it went awesome, and I got nothing but positives back from the coaches, and they all were pleasantly surprised at the way it turned out. A lot of the older ones had a little skepticism in their approach to it, but as we got into it, you could see that they not only learned from it, but they had some fun and actually a little team building and a little camaraderie took place too, which was a good thing. We got to get in there and get amongst them, and and you got to let your hair down a little bit and have fun. I mean, the kids want you to have fun, so you've got to learn to do that. And if you can't do that with your own peers, you're definitely going to have trouble doing that with kids. And I think you could see that the coaches were extremely receptive.
I got to tell you, it is the best drill that I know that simulates game play, that makes you have to play hard on defense. You got to be looking. I look for things like no-look passing. I look for vision. I always look to see what kind of shot people are shooting. And in the 3-on-2, when they make that pass to the side here, I look to see if this top player comes to the ball side elbow here, so that it makes a shorter pass. It pulls that defender way over here. See, when you run a 3-on-2 and you make the pass there and you stand here, it's a lot easier to be defended. That guy doesn't have to make a big decision. So make sure that you go to the ball side elbow. Everybody say ball side elbow. Ball side elbow. You're right here ready to take it and shoot. When the ball is passed, we want to drop in the lane here and help. So we're in help and recover. So when the ball goes from the top to the side, we're going to drop in here and help. Coach, we're going to pull a coach because we're going to say this guy's an All-American here. So the better this player is, the more we're coming to his side, okay? So I know there's some coaches that they play hot everywhere. They're playing on everybody, right? But if this guy's really good, he's coming to the basket, and we got to stop this guy or slow him down. So when she goes there, she dribbles this way. He's coming in here to seal. And we're going to drop coach in here. Now another thing we like to do is point at the ball, point at our player, and make sure we know where our player is all the time. Okay? When you're teaching your guys offense and defense, quote from Steve Nash: know where 9 players are all the time. Is that good? That's good. Okay? And so the second thing that he ended with was know what to do with the ball before you get it, and then do it. Now we're in the lane and help. Now we're going to go to the corner, and Kara's going to fake hard up here. She's going to fake hard and come baseline, and watch how these guys come after. Now freeze. Now if you're teaching defense, you want to always have 3 guys where the ball handler has got to go through. If you do not have 3 guys that the driver has to go through, you need to take a look at your defense, because one guy can beat 2 easy. They can do a split easy. But when a guy's got to go against 3, it's really hard. I like to see this player go right in here like that. And maybe they'll go here, and then boom, real back really quick. We want this player, we want to give the defense a chance to commit some infractions.
Yeah, Coach Daughtry has assembled a really good core group of coaches here that really get it. They understand that, fundamentals is where it is. A lot of times when kids play in the summer, they're encouraged just to get up and down the court, and that's a good thing. However, when you get into playing in school and you're playing for a championship, or you're playing to get better and a championship, a lot of times it gets to be an individual thing instead of playing team, and that's what we wanted to show the coaches here today. Is that each kid, in order for them to be part of the team, they've got to be fundamentally sound. They've got to know where to be. They got to know what to do with the ball before they get it, not make their mind up after they get it. So we're real excited about the development here today.
The thing that I would encourage you to do is to share information with each other. And I know how tempting it is when you've got a really good offense and you don't want to tell people about it. But now people are on the internet and they film you, and they can put you on YouTube and show your whole thing that night before you get home.
I think Coach Ratliff did a tremendous job, and I would recommend that if a coach has an opportunity, not just for this clinic, but for any clinic, but this one in particular, I think it would be very beneficial to any coach at any level.